Ahren's mind had fled into the new secret identity of Meng-Un. Meng-Un, who had developed his own dark and solitary personality, finally taking total control of Ahren's thoughts. Had Kara and his friends not come to his rescue, he would almost certainly have never shaken off the spiritual yoke that Meng-Un had hung around his neck, but would have remained a killing machine without a will of his own, a will that had completely lost sight of his responsibilities as Paladin. A familiar tugging at his mind caused Ahren to give a pained and guilty smile as he battled to shake off his unwelcome memories and come back to the here and now.
"You promised me that you wouldn't wallow in self-pity again," scolded Cullen sternly, as the young man's loyal wolf opened his left eye a little and peeked at his friend accusingly. The animal gave an extended yawn before unrolling himself sufficiently so that he could stand up. What had only now been a sleeping mound of fur at Ahren's side revealed itself to be a wolf almost 2 paces in height, whose white fur looked impressive even in the gloomy light of the rainy day. "I can't let you out of my sight even for a heartbeat," lectured Cullen.
At the same time he transmitted to Ahren an image of an injured whelp, biting continually at the crust of his wound instead of giving it the chance to heal itself, only to be interrupted by an enormous, unquestionably majestic wolf who put a stop to the cub's activity. Ahren felt a wave of guilt. Cullen had been guarding him nightly as he slept, ensuring that his friend's mind wouldn't fall into the clutches of Meng-Un again during his frequent nightmares. Although the elven priestess Jelninolan had assured the young man that even the deepest recesses of his mind had been totally cleansed of Meng-Un, the paladin simply didn't trust himself, and so Cullen had agreed to his friend's silent request and had watched over him every night for weeks now. Cullen yawned again and sat down beside Ahren, from where he gazed nobly down onto the windswept landscape.
"If you're going to insist on playing the role of hermit, then you might at least use the time to rest and find yourself again."
His conceited wolf either couldn't or wouldn't understand why Ahren had decided on the path of passivity following the events of the last few moons. The young paladin had been allowing his companions to make all the important decisions, contenting himself with uncomplainingly carrying out any responsibilities they had assigned to him, but without actively doing anything more. The succession of poor decisions that he believed he had made, first in the fighting arena and then as a guileful night soldier, all of which had almost resulted in the death of Uldini and the victory of the Dopplers over Quinoa, simply weighed too heavily on him.
"You couldn't possibly have known how things were going to develop," said Cullen irritably in response to Ahren's thoughts.
"Just leave it," responded the forest guardian glumly. They had gone through the same discussion dozens of times, with each of them sticking stubbornly to their viewpoint. Neither Cullen nor the others had managed to change Ahren's opinion. Not even his beloved Kara had succeeded in undermining the young man's obstinacy. Others could lead and carry the weight of responsibility. Ahren would follow them and concentrate on doing what the gods had determined for him, wiping him who forces off the face of Jorath. Cullen snorted, a sound that caused several courtiers to shrink back in horror on the street behind them.
"It's late afternoon already. Why don't we at least go to the throne room?" suggested the wolf grumpily. "Quinoa wants to read out yet another proclamation, and you should be there so that everyone can see that the 13th supports her newest laws."
Ahren rolled his eyes. "She never needed support before," he responded. The young man just wanted to be left alone.
Cullen gave an impatient bark. "We wanted her to reform the Eternal Empire, so we should..."